Well, it's good to have you here tonight to give thanks to the Lord. There are so many things in this short gospel pericope that are worth making note of. First of all, Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. He's going to suffer and die for us. He gets interrupted a great deal along that journey, but he is bent on doing it. The devil wants to stop him from going. His disciples don't want him to suffer and die, but his Father does for our sake. And so Jesus goes. He encounters these 10 people. They have the terrible, awful disease of leprosy. Only one of them realizes that he has been healed. Now, how can you have the disease of leprosy, be healed, and not know it? God acted in their life, and they didn't even realize it. How many times does God act in our life, and we don't realize it? They prayed, "Lord, have pity on us." He did, and they didn't realize it. Which makes me stop to think, how many times have I prayed, God answered my prayer, and I didn't even realize it? The one who does, he comes back to give thanks. And notice something. He asked to be healed of leprosy. But what Jesus really wants to give him, and eventually gives him, is something more than just being cured of leprosy. He receives the gift of faith, and he is saved. He receives the gift, the ultimate gift of salvation, because he realized God acted in his life, and he came back to give thanks. And I will bet you, not to be gambling, but I hear that that's quite a popular sport. I bet you he also gave thanks for the leprosy. Because if he didn't have the leprosy, he wouldn't have known the power of God in his life. So on this Thanksgiving, are we grateful for our crosses? We have many collective crosses, and we have certainly our personal crosses, our family crosses. And Jesus was on his way to bear the cross for us. And if he didn't do that, we wouldn't be saved. I remember meeting a person in the hospital who was suffering from cancer. And he shocked me. Because when I went into the room to anoint him and tell him I was sorry he was suffering, and he said, "Don't say that, Father. This cancer is the best thing that ever happened in my life." And I said, "Really?" So yeah. Because until I got sat in this bed, I was going down the wrong path. I didn't appreciate my wife or my kids. I didn't appreciate my health. And I didn't appreciate my faith. And this cancer is a means of my salvation. And he was cured of his cancer. On Thanksgiving, we have to remember to give thanks for our crosses. You know, our faith, the church is suffering terribly with the scandals, But God brings about good even out of evil. So we can be purified by the grace of God. Good can come even out of bad. Even in our church. We are faced with many challenges in Lawrence County. Population decline, many churches that we have, fewer priests. But if we trust in God, if we keep the main thing, Jesus Christ, our faith in Him, and passing that on to the next generation, God will come through. And maybe, like this nameless person in the gospel, we will realize God is doing something. We will realize that God is acting in our lives, in this community, in our church. And we will have the faith to say, "Thank you, Jesus." And we will hear the Lord say to us, "Your faith has saved you."